Okay, so I had decided that I wasn't going to react to any of the Star Wars TV shows anymore because there's like too many and I was getting overwhelmed by how much I'd have to do. But episode 5 of Obi Wan convinced me that I should probably at least react to the finale. Maybe that will be the plan for me for Star Wars shows from now on if I'm caught up with them. But yeah, we're gonna do a reaction to the finale. It's been a bit.
Your turn. You have what's left when I'm done.
Okay, so this is exactly what I expected. She's going for Luke. But she didn't tell anybody, probably. And she beat him there because apparently they don't have a hyperdrive. I'm not sure how you get away without a hyperdrive. This is the best the Star Destroyers looked in one of the TV shows, I'll tell you that. Oh, they were repairing it. It's not completely broke. It's weird. Okay, I gotta stop for a second here. It's weird if you have a secret base to not be fully prepared to have to leave it at a moment's notice if you need to. Like, kudos to these folks for staying undiscovered for so long, but they're not. I mean, they left records in their various hiding places of who had gone through. It was, this may be Obi-Wan's fault directly here, but these guys are eventually going to get caught no matter what. Also, are we far enough along here in the Empire's development that if Vader blows up this transport that has a senator's daughter on it, that's going to be glossed over? I wonder, because right now we are only halfway between episode 3 and episode 4, and the Emperor didn't get rid of the Senate until like right when A New Hope and Rogue One happened. So we're still 10 years away from that, and it makes me wonder why he kept the Senate around so long, if it took him that long to kind of put the chokehold on the properties or on the territories. And if so, I wonder what... It's already bad enough that she got kidnapped basically by the Inquisitors, who are explicitly the enforcement arm for Vader and the Emperor. So I don't know.
No way! You can't just leave me here!
Whoa. Yeah, when... She's very quick at finding out, you know, kind of what's going on at the heart of a situation. I like that characterization of her here. But also, Owen has been shown to be fairly resourceful and quick thinking and quick acting and fairly courageous. So I wonder here if this kid is going to be something like, you know, we saw that episode of Rebels where Obi Wan finally kills Maul here on Tatooine because he threatens Luke. But in Legends, that all happens at the Lars homestead, and Owen helps Obi-Wan kill Maul, like actually even gets the killing blow, shoots him in the head with a blaster. And I wonder if they're kind of trying to mimicking that, because I always say to my friends, you know, now that Legends is kind of pushed to the side, we will still get every good idea that was from Legends. It will be mined for the gems that they can still use, which they've already done with Grand Admiral Thrawn. They've already done with the Death Star plan heist to a certain extent. Like, I kind of view it as BioShock in that way. Like, that phrase, there's always a man, there's always a lighthouse. You know, like, the Death Star plans are going to get stolen. It's only the details that change. Grand Admiral Thrawn will exist. It's only the details that will change. Luke's Jedi Academy will exist, and he'll be betrayed by one of his students. Only the details will change. Luke and Leia's kid will fall to the dark side. Only the details will change. And I wonder if that's going to happen here with Reva. If maybe Owen is actually going to be the one to take her out. Oh, man. How do you break that news to your wife, like, the Inquisitors are after us? Like the day has come. Wow. She's a tough lady. He can already see the person she's going to be. That is a nice touch. But I bet she never meets him again. I bet this is where they end. And she'll know that he's alive because her dad will tell her, but she won't see him. Just seeing that lightsaber like that, so good. They know what we want. They do.
Are you ready?
Imagine if Qui-Gon actually showed up.
You don't have to do this, you know.
And we're going to get a whole bunch of Mon Mothma in the Andor series, which takes place, what, about the same time as Rogue Squad, or Rebels does, I think. Where's the TIE fighters? That is what I want to know. Grand Inquisitor here speaking truth like he always did, even in Rebels. But he's not insubordinate enough. He's not like the other Inquisitors where they've been trained to just be attack dogs. He's more strategic. Like, Beru hardly showed up until this episode, and now she's, like, MVPing here. Love it.
I will face him alone.
1v1 me, Vader. But also, this is the part where you would blow up his shuttle before you landed so that he can't escape, even if he runs from you. Obviously, that's not going to happen, because we know Obi Wan lives. Oh, she let him borrow the droid. This buildup is intense. Love the Lambda shuttles.
I will do what I must.
Nay.
Then you will die.
Yes. Oh, he mad. I'm honestly stunned. The idea that they would use Vader this effectively, like, gives me great faith, honestly, now in TV Star Wars. This is like everything the duel in A New Hope should have been, basically. Oh, he could have had her. And like the huge, powerful swings. That's exactly how he should move. Dodge roll, Obi Wan. You got too mad, Vader. Don't give him an escape route.
You have failed, Master.
Oh. And he just leaves him without figuring out if he's actually dead or not. Oh no, Owen! And Obi-Wan was never really about raw force power, so this is fairly impressive for him. Oof. This makes him sacrificing himself on the Death Star even more poignant, because it was like the completion of his mission. You know, he finally knew he could do something to make sure Luke was safe. Okay, and why I love this here is because at this point, Obi-Wan could have gotten out of that hole, played dead until Vader was gone, and then went back home to Tatooine. His mission was fulfilled. He slowed them down enough for the refugees to get away. But he didn't, because he can't let the chance to correct his mistakes go by. He has to try to kill Vader. He can't let him walk away. Obi-Wan got a power-up. Serenity power-up. It's not going to be enough. Oh, they're holding hands. Oh, the chest box! Ah, the wheezing. That sound is very... Ah. Oh no. Of course they gotta do the helmet face reveal like they did in Rebels as well. Did you ever think we'd get this in live action, though? And now he sees too much Anakin, and he can't finish the job, just like he couldn't finish the job on Mustafar. That's the face of his heart breaking. And it takes him another 10 years to accept that
I'm sorry.
his friend is gone.
I'm sorry, Anakin,
Oh, man.
for all of it.
Oh, look at his face. And this is the proof he needs.
Friend is truly dead.
Yeah. Oh, ooh, ooh. And you wonder how much would change if Obi-Wan killed him on Mustafar, and you wonder how much would change if Obi-Wan had killed him there. I want to see those Star Wars Infinities come back. What if style Marvel. And since, okay, this is the one actual critique I have of Star Wars since Disney took over, and that's travel time. You know, it's very inconsistent how long it takes you to get places. Like, this is mid-chase, and Obi-Wan is going to make it to Tatooine and stop her in time, because apparently it takes no time at all. Even though it's said over and over again, even in the movies, that hyperspace travel takes time. I don't know. It's kind of wild to me. Or she just has a change of heart, huh? Yeah. That scene last episode with it going between her and her younger self was kind of heartbreaking too. I wondered how they were going to tie it all up, but it's actually 20 minutes longer than the previous episode, so this makes perfect sense. You know, being knocked unconscious that long is probably really bad for you. I wish the scene had been at dawn or during the daytime. How many lightsabers are going to be buried on Tatooine by the end of Star Wars? She's a huge threat to remain alive, though, for him. She knows where he is. She knows where Luke is. She knows the importance of Luke. Okay, Vader's palace.
Clear on this.
Hmm. They didn't have to sprinkle the Emperor in there, but they did. A little seasoning. You notice how much Alderaan City looks like Chandrila's cities? I think that's a good touch of culture. Like, basically all the core world high culture is the same. I do like Leia's mom here. She's very mischievous herself. Although she tries to rein Leia in. Oh. Okay. So she does see him again. Oh, he had to bring the droid back. This is highly risky. Like, I'm kind of freaking out for them.
She has already done passionate.
The things he admired in Anakin.
Both were exceptional people.
Hmm. That does hurt.
Bore an
That hurts.
exceptional daughter.
And
Goodbye,
that's...
princess.
And there we go.
May the force be with you.
That's it. Get off the ship, deliver the droid, have a heartfelt talk, get back on the ship. Oh, and the droid is in the holster. That's cute. Oh, well, he's got the full outfit on again. And he's
doing here?
wearing his lightsaber.
I thought you were gonna keep your distance.
Take care of itself.
Is this Obi Wan putting his eggs in Leia's basket?
The only protection. Oh well.
And he and Baru get crispified. Like the bet every time we've gotten them, whether it's the prequels or now, it's made their characters better retroactively.
Hello there.
Oh, there we go. They knew. He is an executive producer of this show, so. And the kid that got to play Luke barely got any lines. I think he had one line in the whole show. Yep, to the new place. Qui-Gon? Oh!
Got a ways to go.
Yes, I love that. Okay. A little bit of pandering, but I like that kind of pandering. And for the generation that grew up with the prequels, this has got to be one of so much better even than it is for me. So I really enjoyed this show for what it was, which is a 6-episode miniseries. They covered a lot of ground. They had a lot of stuff in it for fans to enjoy. They had the Inquisitors, they had Fortress Inquisitorius, they had Purge Troopers, they had lots of Vader, but they used him really well. They didn't use him poorly. I would compare it to more like the Vader comics from Marvel, where they use him a lot, but they don't put him in situations where you can't believe he can be beaten. I like that about this. I can believe like that Obi Wan got away because Vader's emotional state is all scrambled. Really good series. I did enjoy it quite a bit, and the emotions were flowing for sure. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of the prequels. The last season of Clone Wars probably did a little bit to rehabilitate that for me. Episode 3 was always my favorite of the prequels, which I think is true for a lot of people, including people who grew up with the prequels, because, you know, it's just the action in it is so good, and like the depth of the betrayal of Order 66 and Anakin assaulting the Jedi Temple is something that like is really good, even if some parts of the rest of the movie isn't that good. And I love how they knew exactly what to pluck. They knew which things people really liked about episode 3 and the Clone Wars, and they brought it all in this series to remind you how Obi-Wan got where he's at and why he is how he is in A New Hope. I really enjoy that. This is the type of prequel that I really like because it doesn't have to explain anything. It just shows you stuff you already knew, but in a different way. Like we already knew how Vader and Obi-Wan feel about each other. It's just showing us more in depth how that is and why that is, and kind of making you confront it directly, the depth of the tragedy that happened. I really enjoy that, and I think this series was good at that. And I know that they were trying to get another season of this show off the ground, but honestly, I hope they don't, because it doesn't need it. This is all you needed. We don't need to know Obi-Wan's adventures in the next 10 years. This is good enough. It ends on a note that makes sense to me. Everything's wrapped up. The only question is, what does Reva do after this? Because she's out there. She knows where Obi-Wan is. She knows where Luke is. Should be an obvious target for the other Inquisitors. I do want to know a little bit more about that story, but not enough to justify another season of this show. Maybe she pops up in some other sequel show like Andor, for instance. That would be a little bit cool and in line with crossovers that they're doing with their other shows. Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett are in the same time period. Andor will be a little bit later than this is. So you never know. I don't know. And probably we'll see that the Path leader in Andor maybe as well as one of the early Rebel Alliance leaders, along with Mon Mothma. We still haven't brought, as far as I know, General Bel Iblis back into canon. I hope to see that a little bit in Andor, maybe. Like the differences of opinion that existed in the early rebellion. Saw Gerrera has kind of taken that role, but Bel Iblis was a little bit more nuanced and not quite the same as Saw. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what they do. I think Star Wars TV, I'm not really disappointed that they're not making movies. I would much rather get more smaller scale Star Wars to begin with, like smaller stories of different parts of the universe rather than always the big overarching plot. I do like, the side stories a lot. In EU terms, like the old Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Tales from Mos Eisley, Tales of the Empire. These were great books with small scale stories that didn't really matter to the overall plot, but gave you more details about the galaxy and these side characters. And I like that. I want more of that. I'm fine with that. It's actually what I want out of Star Wars at this point. So I think I've talked enough now, but thanks for watching. I appreciate you joining me.